Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing a recipe for oxtails pot pie, and to get started, here are the ingredients I will be using. Here I have my oxtails, well seasoned. I did went ahead and washed them in lemon juice and vinegar and seasoned them ahead of time. And here I have some butter bean, some tricolor bell peppers, carrots. I have some tomatoes, onions, some tomato sauce, garlic and ginger, green onions, thyme and bay leaves. I have some cornstarch, black pepper, complete seasoning, sazon seasoning, and some brown sugar. So I did went ahead and recorded how I seasoned the oxtails, and of course I washed them in lemon juice and vinegar first. And I'll be using some paprika, allspice, bouillon powder, onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, complete seasoning, some homemade green seasoning, and some browning sauce. So guys, while I was adding the seasonings, my battery died and I did not get to show you guys that part where I added the seasonings, but here are the oxtails already seasoned, and I will be allowing them to sit for about 4 hours before I proceed to the next step. Next, we will begin to brown the oxtails. We will add them to a large pot, and I did went in with a tad bit of oil just to avoid any sticking. And we will flip them, periodically until they are brown on all sides. So now that our oxtails have browned nicely, we will now add some onions, garlic and ginger. We will add a little bit more of that browning sauce for color, and then we'll add our bay leaves and thyme. We will go in with some hot water, making sure that the water is covering the oxtails, and then we will sit the lid on here and allow this to cook until the oxtails are tender. So while our oxtails are cooking, we will go ahead and make the crust for our pie. Here I have some all-purpose flour. I have some butter, some shortening, cold water, salt, and some sugar. So what we'll do is add our salt and our sugar to the flour, mix that in. Then we will add our butter and our shortening to the flour, and we will rub it in with our hands until it combines and resembles breadcrumbs. You could use a food processor for this step also. And this is how it should be looking when you're done. Now we will add the water a little at a time until the dough comes together. You don't need to knead this. All you need to do is press and squeeze as you add the water until the dough forms and comes together. Now we will wrap the dough up in a piece of plastic wrap, and we will place it in our fridge until we are ready for it later. So it's been about 2 hours And I think our oxtails are ready. So what we'll do here is we will remove them from the pot and we will get ready to pull them apart. Because as you know, we have to remove the meat from the bone in order to make our pot pie. So we'll remove these, then I'll show you guys the next step. So while we are pulling our oxtails apart, we will leave the sauce to simmer and reduce a bit. So now I'll just go in with 2 forks and just pull the meat off the bone, and I will continue this process until we have all the meat off the bone and the bone is completely clean. Now, I will not lie to you guys and tell you this is a very simple recipe, but I will tell you guys that it's very time consuming and you need some patience for this recipe, but it is all worth it. When it's done, this is so delicious, you guys. You will never regret trying this recipe. So this is our meat when it's all off the bone. Now we'll proceed to the next step of this recipe. Now that our sauce has reduced, we will now go in with the rest of our ingredients. We will add some more onions, garlic, thyme. We will add some tomatoes, peppers, carrots. We will add the tomato sauce. Then we will flavor this up with our seasonings. And we will add our oxtail meat. Then we'll allow this to simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes so that the vegetables can soften up a bit. So at this point, we will go in with the butter bean and then we will add our cornstarch. You need to add like 2 tablespoons of water to your cornstarch, making a slurry before you add it. So we will add the cornstarch now to thicken this up, and we will let this go for about, let's say, 5 minutes. So finally our filling for the pot pie is done. We will now go in with some green onions. We will turn the heat off. We will transfer this to a serving bowl and let it cool off thoroughly before we continue with the next step. So I will be using a 9-inch pie dish and I'll be making a double pie crust. So what I'll do is cut my dough into 2 parts, one part bigger than the other, because you need the bottom part of the pie crust to be bigger than the top part. So we will cut it and then I'll show you guys how I roll out this dough. So what you want to do now is roll the dough out to a size a little bit larger than your pie dish. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be rolling this out and then we will place it inside of the pie dish. Next, we will place the dough inside of the dish and we will nestle it in, making sure there's no air pockets or anything. And like the edges that are overlapping, you can cut that off or just simply pinch it off. And then we will set this aside and we will roll out the top part of the pie crust. Now we'll add the oxtail filling to the pie dish, and as usual you just fill it up until all of your filling is gone, or until your dish is filled, because maybe sometimes you may make it and you have a little bit left over. So don't overfill your pan, just make sure it's filled up nicely, and then we will place the top part of the dough, just sealing our pie together. And once you place the top part of the crust over the pie, we will use our fingers and just pinch the two edges together just to seal it. And then we will use a fork to make some, little pretty designs. We eat with our eyes first, so you want to make it look as pretty as possible. Now we'll go over the top with some egg wash. This will give the pie its beautiful golden brown color. Now using a knife, we will place some holes at the top of the pie to release the air as it bakes. Then we will sit this in an oven of 375 for about 45 minutes. When your pie comes out of the oven, it should be looking like this. We will allow this to cool off a little before I slice into it and show you guys how it looks. It smells so good. I can't wait to dig in. And now for the good part. Look how yummy that looks, guys. It is amazing. It tastes amazing, smells amazing, and it is everything you would want in an oxtail pie, honestly. Okay guys, so this is my version of a oxtail pot pie. I do hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I will leave all the ingredients down in my description box, and I will see you guys in my next video. Enjoy!